Hello everyone and welcome to another Total War Warhammer information video. Today we have been given two pieces of news. A bit of news to do with the release date and the system requirements. Well, I'm saying today is today for me. I'm recording this after I got home from work, so I'm pretty tired. We're going to try and keep this shortish. The news about the release date. It's been delayed. The game has been delayed until the 24th of May. That's almost a month later. Which you can hear from the tone of my voice. It's not just I'm tired. I am upset over that, but I do think they have made the right decision. If they feel they need more time, they should take as long as they want just to make sure the game is ready and fully polished in time for release. The last thing they want to do is make a mistake and rush it out and cause commotion, because that could, even though I trust CE would fix it in the end, Rome 2 still gets a lot of hate just because it had a bad launch, even though it is now a quite good game. And most of the community found it fine at launch. It was just, I think they actually stated that there was an actual statistic somewhere like 30% of people were getting problems. Yeah, that is a hell of a lot, and Rome 2 did have a bad launch. I'm not trying to protect it here, but I'm just saying there's majority of people still had a perfectly fine time with the game, but the game was still ruined from a fan sort of perspective because it just never recovered from that. So yeah, it is a really good thing that it's been put back, but for me it is so crushing. Let's just talk you through my day. Like, I have been thinking about Total War Warhammer like at least once every 10 minutes, and I'm well and firmly on the hype train. I'm probably helping driving it with my videos, like, especially for quite a few people out there that watch my information videos. I'm bound to be driving it for them. And we were steamrolling down, we were making good time on this hype train, we were going full pelt. Then I came in the door and my wife told me the news, and the train didn't slow down, it didn't stop, it just froze. My hype train has completely froze, and as it's frozen, I've went off the hype train, I've went into a corner, crawled into a ball, and went into the fetal position and started going, another month, another month, another month. So yeah, I completely agree it was the right thing to do, but another month. At least I get to try it in April at EGX. Right, moving on to the specifications. I've not had a chance to form an opinion on them. I'm too tired to think about it, but I'm going to give you some here. There will be a link in the description to the actual page about it, and I might just put them in the description as well. I'm too tired to think about it tonight. I really need to get to my bed. I'm just editing it, making it and editing it now so I can upload it overnight and get it up in the morning. Right, so something that, before I talk about the specifications, something that is very, very, very awesome about this game though, is it's the first Total War that is finally going to be 64-bit. That is huge for me anyway. For those that don't quite understand or don't know much about tech, the 64-bit, we have up until now, every Total War has been 32-bit, just like our old operating systems were 32-bit, and we're all on 64-bit operating systems now, well, most of us, and if you want to play this game, I hope you are. And this program is now 64-bit. Now, you'd have heard, probably if you've been on the forums a lot over the past Total Wars, over the years and all that a lot of people complaining about multi-core support. Well, in 32-bit, programs. My brain's farting, I'm too tired. I think it's 2 cores. I'm not 100% sure because I'm not mad tech orientated, but I just know, like, an aspiring tech orientated person. I'm pretty sure 32-bit programs can only use 2 cores, which drastically lowered our optimization and stuff like that in previous Total Wars. And 64-bit programs and that, I think it's 4 they can use. I wouldn't quote me on that, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's 2 for 32-bit, but I think it's 4 for the 64. So that is great. Most people will be running 4 processors rigs. I'm currently running an 8 processor rig, but they're a wee bit smaller than your average processor. So that is huge. For me, it is outstanding because I was running 8 slightly smaller, and when I was playing Total War, it could only really use 2 fully. Well, it could only really use 1 fully if our memory serves last time I was looking into it, and the rest were just like being used a wee bit. Whereas now it's going to be using much more, it's going to have much better multi-core support. The minimum specifications. And see, I've actually been really nice about this, and they're saying expect around 15 to 25 files per second on a campaign map or in a 1v1 20 units vs 20 units battle with the default graphics preset set to low. So in a large average battle, 20 units vs 20 units, and in the campaign map, expect 15 to 25 files per second if this is the sort of rig you have on the low graphics settings, and that is a Windows 7 64-bit operating system, a processor with an Intel Core 2 Duo 3.0 GHz RAM, 3 GB, 35 hard drive space, 35 gigabytes hard drive space. That's how much the space they're saying you'll need for the game, basically. Video card is an AMD Radeon HD 5770 1024 megabytes. That's actually quite a weak graphics card. Or NVIDIA GTX 450 1028 megabytes. Intel HD 720p, all that stuff. So that is actually quite weak graphics cards. So it shouldn't be too hard for most people to run it. Most people should be able to run it. That is quite low for basic settings, but that is only on the low graphics preset with 15 to 25 files per second. Moving on to the recommended PC specifications, and this, it tells you expect around 45 to 55 files per second in the same situations as above on the campaign map and in a 20v20 battle with the default graphics settings set to high. So that's default graphics settings set to high. So if your PC is like this one I'm about to describe, you should be running it easy. Operating system Windows 7 8.1 10 64-bit. Processor is an Intel Core i5 4570 with 3.2 GHz, 8 GB of RAM, the same disk drive, hard drive, 35 GB, and video cards are 2048 megabytes from either AMD, GeForce, all the usual sort of stuff. GTX 760 they've got on the NVIDIA side. So again, that's actually quite low. Only to get 45 to 55 files per second on the campaign map 20v20 battle, I'd expected Total War Warhammer to require a bit better than a GTX 760 as its graphics card for 45 to 55 files per second. Right, now moving on to their PC for 60 files per second plus specifications. So this is for the people that want more than 60 files per second in the situations above with the graphics set to ultra. So this is if you want your rig to handle it as smooth as a baby's bottom with everything maxed out what your system requirements will need to be. And those requirements are an operating system, Windows 7, 8.1, 10, all 64-bit, either one of them 64-bit, processor, Intel Core i7 4790K 4GHz, RAM 8GB, hard drive 35GB, and video card DirectX 11, AMD Fury X or NVIDIA GTX 980 at 1080p. So there, even at that is still quite good. I'd expected you'd need at least a Titan, for example, to run on Ultra 60 plus files per second, but that's not that bad. That is all quite good. I can't remember what Attila's specifications were, but off the top of my head, that doesn't seem like the huge jump I was expecting. I know Total War and CA, when making Total Wars, always like to have the specifications as close to the last one game as possible. And the rule of thumb I generally have always sort of said with Total Wars is it generally is, for the next Total War, if your PC can handle the current one on normal, the next one you're probably going to be on low. Or if your PC can handle it on high, you're probably going to go to the next one with the same rig on normal. It's just a quick rule of thumb that seems to be quite good for Total Wars between editions. So for example, if you were playing Shogun on high with the exact same rig and then went to Rome, you'd probably need to dumb it down to medium to get roughly the same files per second. It's just a nice rule of thumb that I found is quite good and helps quite a few people out. I can't remember where I first heard it, but it's just a nice wee rule of thumb. Obviously it isn't exact or anything like that, but it's just a nice wee rule. So there we go. I have no idea what I'm going to do for the video of this. I'm just recording the narration now. Hope you have all enjoyed it anyway. See you all next time. Bye bye.